What's up, America? We are them dudes over there. This is Tim the Talent. We got Case Dog and we got Kales here this Sunday. We was checking out these Sunday games. We still got people at the crib, as you'll probably hear them in the background watching games. Football's back, baby. And we're going to talk some Bengals football. There's a lot to talk about. And, let's just get right into it. Fellas, what got into Marcus Hunt today? What y'all think about that guy today?
I mean, apparently he was saving all the good plays for the regular season. I was a little nervous watching him play lackadaisical and lazy throughout the preseason. I thought he was going to get cut, but we had 2 injuries at defensive tackle. We made the team, and now it shows why we put all that faith in him in the first place.
Case Dog, what you got to say about Marcus Hunt, man?
Man, the man had some good plays today. I mean, like Kel said, he was lackadaisical during the preseason. So, I mean, I was a little concerned. I was like, okay, maybe dude might not make it. But, he showed out today. Clearly he was holding something in the tank that nobody knew. Yeah,
he was playing like he had something to prove. I almost think that he thought today was preseason and he was trying to fight for his job. He was everywhere. He was blocking punts. He was getting pressure, batting down passes. I mean, this dude, it's like he woke up and said, hey, Mom, I'm in the NFL. It's time to play. But he waited 4 years later.
Hey, I was going to say, we waited 4 years for that block field goal. Finally!
Like Marcus Hunt. It's pretty bad when you're celebrating for one play from a player. Like, yes! Yes! It's almost like if Brandon Tate returned a kickoff for a touchdown. Oops. Well, that's Buffalo's problem now. That's not our problem. But, but I tell you what, Pac-Man is probably wishing Brandon Tate was returning some kicks after he got smacked on that one kickoff.
You know what? Pac-Man's going to be fine. He was trying to make a play both times in a row. He kind of had Brandon Tate-like returns, but we know the potential that Pac-Man has, so I'm not worried about it.
So what's up with the offensive line? I think the offensive line just totally got dominated. I think the defensive line got dominated. I don't even know how they won the game today.
That's pretty simple. You just said it. They got dominated.
The offensive line just got destroyed. I don't know what happened there on that point, but the defensive line, it wasn't as bad as what the offensive line was. The defensive line, at least they added pressure. At least made some of his throws somewhat difficult.
Well, you could see with the D-line towards the end of the game, that's when it became a problem. I feel like they was getting tired. I didn't see Williams play at all. You saw Pat Sims rotate in a little bit, but Geno Atkins and Pecco looked like they was worn out by the fourth quarter.
When Hunt's your most productive defensive lineman, your defense had a rough day. That's all I'm saying. But surprises. The surprise, I don't know how to say his name, might be Uzama, number 87. He surprised me. He tried to pull an O.J. Simpson in the middle of the field with the Heisman move, but but he did get 54 yards. That's cool. Brandon LaFell, he's another guy that was on the Hunt plan where he said, hey, you know what? Preseason, I'm like Allen Iverson, man. Preseason's like practice to me. Practice? What are we talking about? A real game? Why are we talking about practice? LaFell said, hey, I'm just going to have more production in this one regular NFL season game than the whole preseason game. What y'all think about Brandon LaFell?
I'm going to say, first off, I guess I got to eat my words here saying that Brandon LaFell, wouldn't be that productive as well as, he may have been on the chopping block earlier in the preseason. But we didn't know if he was healthy at that point, but now we can see he is healthy enough to be productive alongside of A.J. Green. But when you got somebody going for 180 yards on the other side of him, I think it is pretty easy to get your 91.
Hey, but in his defense, though, Sanu wasn't doing that. Like, we was upset with Sanu in 2014 because he wouldn't go off the same game AJ would go off. Sanu would disappear when AJ Green's going off. LaFell, he had 4 catches for 91 yards. In addition to AJ Green's 12 catches, 180. You know what? I was a little worried about the receivers and the passing game, but now I'm like, you know what? I'm a little less worried about our receivers, and I'm a little more concerned about our offensive line right now.
Yeah, and I think you're not to change the subject, but just throw this in there. Nobody should be worried about Revis Island this year.
Woo! Oh my, Revis Island. I don't even want to go there with Revis. Maybe he was just, it's the first game for him. That's a tough matchup to face the AJ Green in your first game, in the regular season. It wasn't Revis Island. You know what? I'll tell you what. If he plays like that for the whole season, all the receivers are going to be packing their bags and they're going to enjoy their stay on Revis Island. It's more like a resort. It's more like Revis Resort. Yeah. That's what he was today. He was Revis Resort. All his grabbing and pulling, it didn't matter. AJ, what? You want to grab my right arm? I'm going to just catch you one hand. And you know what? And Andy Dalton putting those pinpoint passes, it didn't help. Oh, and then, of course, Revis get burnt Then you're like, oh, you know what? The safety. Oh, hey, somebody. The safety was telling Revis, like, what you doing? Get back there. Hey, help. They didn't know what they were doing. Now, maybe the offensive coordinator drew up a perfect play, confused them, with the route combinations, and that got A.J. Green open. I don't care what it was. Revis, you got toasted there.
Okay, I'm gonna say this: the safety wasn't in the play. I saw Revis had a chance to make a play on the ball. Instead, he got mossed, and that's pretty much what matters. Even if it was a blown coverage by the safety, he was clearly in the play to make the play and did not do it. So
that's a good point.
I count that on Revis.
Revis clearly saw that the safety ran up. And you would think that Revis would have had like some kind of sense of urgency when the ball was in the air, but it was like he was just chilling, like I'm Darrelle Revis, man. I know I'm gonna make a play on the ball, and he just like lackadaisically, just followed AJ Green and let him catch it in the end zone.
Yeah, I'm about to say because on that play, like AJ had to stop in mid route just to catch the ball. Like Revis could have. At least smacked it down or something.
He should have passed interference. I mean, that ball was underthrown by 5 yards. But, if the ball is underthrown by 5 yards and you roasted by 10 yards, I can understand Revis not being able to make a play on the ball. Especially when you have to run so fast to catch up after you've been beat.
I'm surprised he didn't pull the hamstring after that one. That was hamstring pulling worthy right there, man.
I think he might have pulled a hamstring. I mean, you know what? This win... it's strictly the Jets coaching staff because after A.J. Green caught that one pass, he would have never caught another pass after that. I would have said, Revis, you're going to guard him. We're going to double and triple team A.J. and Brandon LaFell. Let's see what you can do. Hey, and granted, Brandon LaFell didn't have 91 yards. I mean, and they apparently paid attention to Uzama in the second half because they say, you know what? This guy is roasting all our linebackers. Maybe we need to put a safety on, maybe a corner.
Probably opened up things for A.J. Green if you have to put a safety on a tight end. So
yeah, if you got to put a safety on a third-string tight end, a guy that nobody wanted. I mean, hell, they even talked about the Bengals drafting this guy. He didn't make a lot of catches at Auburn. I don't know. He's fast. He can catch. He's tall. He's athletic. I don't know why anybody didn't use him. I don't know why it took the Bengals. And then it still took 2 injuries at tight end for the Bengals to even use him. They said, I don't know about this guy. He's fast. He was faster than Tyler Eifert. I don't know. What do you think, Marvin? Is this a good decision? I don't know. So, hey, I'm just glad to see the boy get some playing time and actually produce. He still has some drops, so maybe that's why, he didn't get a lot of run besides blocking. But he's got a bright future, man. If today is any indication, he's got a bright future.
Yeah, yes, indeed he does. I think if anything, I'm glad we won the game, but I think if anything, it just showed okay, our focus really shouldn't be receivers, obviously, because they obviously held their own today. I think our issue, what we need to focus on is that offensive line, figure out what happened with them.
Yeah.
And then we need to really figure out, that was really the main one, and then figure out what's going on with defense. Defensive line.
I feel like the defense is going to be okay once we get more healthy as far as
once we get Murphy back.
Because I think Thompson is gone for the year. Billings is gone for the year, and I think Hardison is gone for the year. But we need to get that Williams guy in the rotation so you get 4 tackles. He needs to dress and he needs to play because they look winded. I understand it was a hot game. I understand it was the first game of the season, but you still can't expect Pecco, who's over 30, and Geno Atkins to play basically Iron Man tackle with Pat Sims coming in on every random rundown. And he didn't even get that many possessions. I have to say. So if Pat Sims, and who is not somebody who's going to have a lot of wind either, he's 340 pounds.
Well, Pat Sims was on the injury report. Actually, he hurt his Achilles earlier in the week, so that could be why they maybe limited his snaps. So I think you'll get more snaps from Pat Sims as the year go on. But you're right. I mean, they're going to have to rotate the line an awful lot. I think they did wear down, and they was just running the ball just right down their throats at will. And, the Steelers is coming up next week, and, they're looking like, man, Williams is really going to run down their throats. But still, I'm still scared if I'm Pittsburgh's defense because I'm like, man, that LaFell guy showed up. And A.J. Green, oh, my gosh, look what he did to Revis. Do we got anybody that's close to being a Revis? No, we do not. What the heck are we going to do?
I will say this: the Steelers are not going to focus on what their weaknesses are, which is being able to cover. They know A.J. Green is going to get open. They know Brandon LaFell is going to get open. Tyler Boyd's probably going to get open.
Yeah,
you know Uzama's going to get open. So what they're going to do is focus on Bodan, who was getting blown up today.
Yeah,
and they're probably going to focus on Abuehi, who was getting manhandled today. They're probably going to focus on all the offensive linemen, and they're going to just attack Andy Dalton just like the Jets did. And you saw before they start kind of protecting him. he was in trouble back there. He got sacked 7 times.
Oh, yeah.
I think it was at least, 8 quarterback hurries. He got knocked down another 8 times. I mean, he was getting touched almost on every drop back.
Right.
So, with that being the case, the Steelers should be focused on how to just victimize our offensive line till they put it together like glue. And because they can't cover anybody, they know they can't cover us. I mean, so if you got to play to your strengths, and until we shore up that offensive line, they have a pretty good chance of no matter who's running open down the field, if your quarterback's on his butt already, it doesn't matter. So
I tell you. So here's the thing, though. I mean, I know it's only week 1, but now after seeing LaFleur, because we wanted to see him, let's see the guy play. After watching him play, and then he's not even full strength, and got 4 grabs for 91 yards. So the question is, is it possible that LaFleur is an upgrade from Marvin Lewis-Jones? Is that a possibility?
Absolutely not.
I would say it's too early to tell, even with that. It's just one game. I mean, from what he did,
one big game.
From what he did, I would say, yeah, but I just need to see more as the season goes on. If this is his biggest game the whole time we've got him, then
I'm gonna play devil's advocate here, because Marvin Lewis-Jones, I mean, the most catches he got, he haven't even caught over 65 balls.
Well, with Tyler
LaFleur has been doing it for his career.
Well, with Tyler Eifert being healthy, I guarantee you LaFleur don't have that many targets probably. I mean, Eifert would be...
But why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Because Eifert usually has a lot more targets than what Uzama got.
Eifert, to tell you the truth, Eifert didn't get a lot of targets last year. Now, granted, you still have Marvin Jones there. You still had Sanu. I mean, there was a lot of guys to pass the ball around to. But here's the thing, though. If LaFleur is going to do what he did, if you think about it, LaFleur can do what Sanu does, and he's not Marvin Jones, but the fact that he can win on the outside, and he's taller than both of them, that's a whole different dimension. You know what I'm saying? You got one guy that can kind of do what both guys do a little bit, and then he don't run after the catch like Marvin Lewis-Jones, but boy, Tyler Boyd sure can. He got a little wiggle to him.
So I'm no clairvoyant, but I know when we came down here, Marvin Jones had 1 catch for 27 yards. I'm pretty sure he's up there going hammer time, probably putting up better numbers than Brandon LaFleur.
But you're missing
right
the point.
now.
But you're missing the point. We're not talking about Marvin Jones' future. When they got LaFleur, they was replacing the Marvin Jones of the past with the Bengals. You see what I'm saying? Because they weren't going to have Marvin Jones at the number 2 position, with playing the number 2 or the number 1 option. You see what I'm saying? So Marvin Jones and his 50 catches a season, that's LaFleur. That's all he has to do. Tyler Boyd only has to replace 32 catches and 300-something yards that Sanu had last year. That's not hard for a rookie to do. By comparison, Chris Henry had 24 grabs, about 5 touchdowns, and more yards than that.
So for me, though, I think for me, I am looking towards the future, because had we kept those wide receivers, we'd be looking at what they would be doing right now, and they both look better than they did last year.
But there's not enough balls to go around. So here's the thing. You got to be effective in the limited passes you're going to get. And the reason why they left is because they knew they weren't going to get those passes. They left because they felt like they could do more. So perfect example, different sport, but kind of same scenario. James Harden. He would not average 29 points a game with Oklahoma City. He would never get close to those numbers. But in Houston, he's an all-star. He's going to tear it up. You know what I mean? So they had to leave in order to grow. So, but as far as the Bengals team, you know what I mean? You want to get a guy that can perfectly complement AJ Green. And maybe he's not on the upswing. Maybe he's already in his prime. He's won Super Bowl rings. He's big and strong, so he can block. He'll make the tough catches over the middle. You know what I mean?
So I guess by that logic, then it's not about who's the better player. Because I feel like
no. It's not who's the better player or who will become the better player. It's about who's going to produce. Who's a good match. Will he be able to make up what they lost? That's really what it was. And judging by today, I would say that they're not far away.
Well, no. If we're just talking about the production from last year, I believe that Brandon LaFleur and Boyd, and then if you add in Cody Core, who didn't dress this game, but we'll see what he can do as well. I think, because if you think about it, we didn't have Core or James Wright last year.
Right.
So that means if you fill in all of that, well, I think we're going to be more productive than just what Sanu and Jones brought. I think combined, they maybe only had, 900 yards or 1,000 yards and 4 touchdowns?
But before we go, real quick, everybody, get your last moments on this topic here. Hey, and I'm going to start with K-Star. Did you ever think that Andre Smith would be the biggest loss so far for the Bengals?
No, I did not, be honest with you.
I guess for the future, I think that Abway will get everything together. He's basically a rookie, essentially. Didn't play at all last year. So I think that, for this first game, losing Andre Smith was huge.
All right. Hey, tell us your thoughts. Leave comments. We out. Peace.